You have a couple of pets as well,
Yeah.
a dog and a cat with interesting names.
That's Oprah.
That's Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey has left an indelible effect on the entertainment industry and won the hearts of many viewers via her countless television appearances. Her fame has allowed her to amass a respectable financial worth, which she has graciously utilized to advocate for several causes that have contributed to the favorable perception of her character. In addition to this widely held belief, Oprah has a history of getting into fights with her co-stars, which has led to animosity between the two of them. The fans have been asking for an explanation of the true motivations behind these feuds, and we're here to provide it to them. Have a seat, because we are about to go on an adventure that will change your life. Oprah Winfrey is a famous media magnate, actress, producer, talk show presenter, philanthropist, and native of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. She was born on January 29, 1954. Having endured violence and instability as a youngster, her background was far from hopeful. The Oprah Winfrey Show, Winfrey's breakout hit, debuted in 1986 and was the most watched talk show of all time for 25 years, until its 2011 cancellation. She became a cultural hero and influential figure when her compassionate interviewing technique and candor about her own hardships struck a chord with viewers. The influence of Winfrey extends well beyond her talk show. Her production business, Harpo Productions, and cable channel, Oprah Winfrey Network, have all played major roles. Acting is another area in which she has excelled, earning her praise for films like Selma, 2014, and The Color Purple, 1985. Among Winfrey's many charitable endeavors is the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, which she founded and which has received millions of dollars in donations for educational purposes. Among her many honors is the 2013 Presidential Medal of Freedom for her service to the nation's media and society. Winfrey is a living example of the transformative power of media, as she rose from abject poverty to become one of the world's most powerful women. On top of all the incredible things she has accomplished, she has also managed to irritate certain people, and other famous people have brought to light some aspects of her personality that the public may not know. There has been a lot of criticism of Oprah for her public image and her claims that she does not always deliver on them. Allegations have surfaced that suggest she may be responsible for some harm behind the scenes. Half Cent is a prime example of a celebrity who has doubts about Winfrey. Central to his thesis is the idea that Oprah's beliefs promote a certain narrative about black males in society. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, has made no secret of his disapproval of Oprah Winfrey and the way she depicts black American males. In his opinion, Winfrey perpetuates damaging stereotypes by focusing on the bad parts of their life. A major bone of contention for 50 Cent is the frequency with which Winfrey's show has included critical analyses of hip-hop and its societal effects. He claims that Winfrey pays too much attention to the genre's sexism, brutality, and consumerism, and not enough to its cultural importance and the social factors that influence its stories. According to 50 Cent, this presents black males in hip-hop in an unduly bad light, showing them mostly as destructive forces rather than complex human beings. In 2006, during Winfrey's discussion with rap musician Ludacris, this critique was most notably on display. Although comparable themes are popular in the entertainment industry, Ludacris felt unjustly singled out for the sexual material of his songs during the conversation. This episode also solidified the belief that Winfrey unfairly singles out black male rappers for criticism while ignoring comparable actions among other groups. Additionally, she neglected to mention some of 50 Cent's excellent accomplishments throughout the years, lending credence to his assertion that she was too preoccupied with the bad aspects of black males and neglected to acknowledge their positive contributions. Also, 50 Cent isn't happy with Winfrey for associating with older, more conservative black leaders like Bill Cosby, who have spoken out against the morals and actions of black males today. According to 50 Cent, this only serves to bolster a narrative that downplays the richness and variety of black men's lived experiences. The core argument of 50 Cent's criticism is that Winfrey's powerful platform might be better used to promote positive portrayals of black men and their achievements rather of focusing only on their shortcomings. His call for a more balanced portrayal of black males in America includes their struggles and triumphs. And this was the source of their animosity, that little feud she had with Ludacris. On an episode of The Oprah Winfrey Show in 2006, when the actors from the film Crash were invited to talk about the film, Oprah Winfrey and Ludacris got into an angry argument. The discussion made Ludacris, who had a major part in the film, feel especially singled out. Winfrey addressed the sexist and violent songs by Ludacris during the concert, which prompted a confrontation between the two. According to her, damaging stereotypes and social problems are exacerbated by messages that glorify a criminal lifestyle and negatively depict women. Ludacris justified his actions by saying that he was just an artist who used music to convey his experiences and those of many others. He believed that people were unjustly picking apart his music when they did not do the same with other types of entertainment that dealt with comparable issues. In subsequent interviews, Ludacris described how he felt humiliated and ambushed by Winfrey's questioning style. He felt the episode presented an unfair bias since it omitted most of his arguments and explanations. He was disappointed that Winfrey, a prominent character in the media, gave more airtime to hip-hop's critics and ignored the music's positive cultural and social contributions. Their relationship deteriorated as a result of this exchange. Ludacris believed Winfrey's strategy was unbalanced and ignorant. He thought her prominent platform might have fostered a more fruitful and all-encompassing discussion on the intricacies of hip-hop and the larger problems it tackles. Broader discussions on media accountability and portrayal were brought to light by the conflict between Winfrey and Ludacris. The difficulties of broaching taboo subjects on powerful platforms, where the power dynamic between the interviewer and interviewee may dramatically affect public opinion, were highlighted. 50 Cent used this incident to make a point about Winfrey's style. If you think these two claims are absurd, you should listen to what Seal has to say about Winfrey and her fight for women's rights and protection. He goes on to detail the course. By bringing attention to her connection with Harvey Weinstein, Seal was essentially accusing her of being a hypocrite. British musician Seal came out strongly in early 2018 accusing Oprah Winfrey of having an affair with the notorious Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein. Winfrey made a moving address at the Golden Globes, calling out against the pervasive sexual harassment and abuse in Hollywood. Many were moved by her call for change, but Seal was quick to criticize her. By posting a photo of Winfrey kissing Weinstein on the cheek, and another of the two embracing amicably, Seal accused Winfrey of hypocrisy on social media. The text said, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." Seal responded with his own comment, "Oh, I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young starry-eyed actresses who in turn had no idea what they were getting into. My bad." Seal said that Winfrey had kept a tight connection with Harvey Weinstein, whose predatory behavior was supposedly known in Hollywood for years, despite Winfrey's stated stance against sexual misbehavior. He implied that her friendship with Weinstein ran counter to the principles she advocated, and that she had deliberately turned a blind eye to his wrongdoing in order to further her career or her social status. Much public discussion ensued as a result of these remarks. Those who were critical of Winfrey agreed with Seal that she was less credible as a change agent because of her ties to influential people like Weinstein. Those in Winfrey's corner, meanwhile, have defended the actress, saying that her charitable work and campaigning have always been there for abuse victims and for gender equality. Managing one's personal relationships while also advocating publicly in the entertainment business is no picnic, as Seal's claims demonstrated. They brought attention to the larger problem of responsibility and the demands made on powerful people to be good examples, particularly in terms of coordinating their private and public lives. Even though these charges changed many people's impressions of Oprah, she continues to have an incredible fan base. On a lighter note, Oprah and Joan Rivers seem to have some distance between them when Joan caught Oprah off guard by criticizing her for being somewhat overweight, even though Oprah has championed fitness classes for women. As is the case with most individuals who hold grudges against Oprah, this appears to indicate that she does not practice what she teaches. Joan Rivers confronted Oprah Winfrey in an interview in the late 80s, asking her directly about her weight, and the two have been at odds ever since. Despite the widespread knowledge of Winfrey's weight problems at the time, she seldom spoke about it in such an open way. She was a rising star in the television business. Joan Rivers put Winfrey on the position with sharp questions about her weight during an interview on her show, The Joan Rivers Show, which many saw as an aggressive and rude move. Despite Winfrey's best efforts to remain composed throughout the chat, the experience deeply affected her. Public personalities, especially women, are subject to intense scrutiny over their looks and private lives, as the interview demonstrated. The outspoken comedian and journalist Rivers subsequently justified her method, saying she only asked the questions her audience wanted answered. But Winfrey found the line of inquiry intrusive and rude, and it drove a wedge between the two characters. Rivers portrayed Winfrey as opportunistic years later, implying that Winfrey used her weight problems and other personal hardships to develop her reputation and win over the public. Rivers said that Winfrey's candor with her struggles was motivated by both genuine self-disclosure and calculated self-promotion. She reasoned that Winfrey's skill in weaving her weaknesses into an engaging story was an attempt to establish a more personal connection with her viewers and further establish her clout in the media. Even though Rivers was right to criticize Winfrey, many others found her relatable and felt a deep connection to her because she was honest about her weight and other personal struggles. When Winfrey was ready to talk about her struggles, it helped bring attention to the importance of mental health and positive body image, and gave others a feeling of community when they were struggling. On the other hand, the opportunist allegations leveled by Rivers illuminate a larger discussion about the sincerity of public people and the boundary between real vulnerability and deliberate self-disclosure. For some, like Rivers, Winfrey's candor was a genuine and liberating move, but for others it was a cunning strategy to boost her profile. Disagreement between Winfrey and Rivers highlights how famous people see the media's coverage of their private lives. The intricacies of celebrity are brought to light by this, since an individual's personal troubles may serve as a conduit for connection with fans while also inviting criticism from colleagues. Despite this, Chris Brown has said that Oprah isn't a great friend, drawing attention to the divide between her and 50 Cent and Ludacris. Oprah Winfrey's handling of the 2009 domestic violence incident between Rihanna and Chris Brown is at the heart of Chris Brown's criticism of Winfrey. In the aftermath of the well-reported fight, Winfrey publicly stated her solidarity with Rihanna, standing in solidarity with victims of domestic abuse and strongly denouncing such crimes. Chris Brown took offense to Winfrey's position because he believed that she had biased herself against their friendship by passing judgment without considering Chris Brown's point of view. Chris Brown felt that Winfrey had sided with Rihanna too quickly, dismissing Chris Brown's story and the bigger picture, which led to his dissatisfaction with her. He contended that Winfrey may have failed to fully grasp the situation's nuances and the potential for shared blame if she had done so. According to Chris Brown, this betrays an unfairness and a failure to thoroughly investigate a delicate matter before expressing one's opinion. Winfrey defended herself by saying that her stance on domestic abuse was identical with how she responded to the Chris Brown-Rihanna situation. Winfrey has used her fame to bring attention to the issue of domestic violence and to give voice to those who have survived such trauma. The pain she has endured and the tales of her numerous program guests inform her zero-tolerance approach on these types of situations. Winfrey's activism has been essential in raising awareness about domestic violence and getting victims to come forward and get assistance. It is possible to interpret Winfrey's endorsement of Rihanna as an expression of her dedication to these values. Standing alongside Rihanna was Winfrey's way of making her statement against violence against women and for victims to know they are not alone. Public celebrities like Winfrey, who speak out strongly against domestic abuse, contribute to the widespread condemnation of this issue in society at large. Chris Brown's critique, however, shows how difficult it is for prominent personalities to discuss complicated and contentious matters. The fact that Winfrey stands by her stance against domestic abuse highlights the need of giving equal weight to all viewpoints, even if her opinion is consistent with a principled attitude. In cases involving personal ties and accusations of wrongdoing, striking a balance between advocacy and impartiality becomes even more complex. Finally, Winfrey's dedication to helping abuse victims is a reflection of her larger goal to use her power for good social change, while Chris Brown's criticism highlights the need for comprehensive knowledge and equity. Meanwhile, there were cases when fans may have exaggerated insignificant details. The alleged split between Oprah and Roseanne Barr is a prime example. Roseanne Barr and Oprah Winfrey were once at odds over an arm wrestling match, which seemed like a minor affair at the time. The legend has it that the two got into a lighthearted arm wrestling fight at a party in the early 90s. When Barr claimed that Winfrey had won the fight unjustly by utilizing her left hand against Barr's right, producing an unbalanced match, the formerly amicable competition took a turn for the worst. Barr, who is notoriously bold and controversial, felt disrespected and thought Winfrey had not been fair because of the event. The fact that this little incident, which they might have laughed off, became a major source of disagreement between them shows how the competitive spirit can permeate relationships in the entertainment business. Both ladies had strong personalities and public personas, which added to the tension surrounding the arm wrestling event. The difference was heightened by the fact that Winfrey was more calm and sympathetic than Barr, whose manner was boisterous and often aggressive. The story gained media attention, which added gasoline to the fire of suspicion about a deeper conflict and sensationalized the divide even more. Winfrey and Barr chose to tackle the matter head-on after some initial tension. They tried to get to the bottom of things by having an open discussion in which they both admitted how ridiculous the scenario was and stressed the significance of not allowing a little event to strain their relationship. Winfrey, known for her candor and readiness to tackle tough topics, apologized if the arm wrestling battle had stoked any animosity. The event had been exaggerated, and Barr recognized that although he appreciated the gesture, their professionalism and mutual respect shone through in their abilities to communicate and handle the situation. They resolved the dispute amicably, allowing everyone to continue their professional lives untarnished. This settlement also serves to illustrate a larger point on the art of dispute resolution, especially in situations when there is a lot of public scrutiny. As an alternative to letting problems simmer, it stresses the need of open and honest communication. When understanding and mutual respect are prioritized, even people with strong personalities may discover common ground and settle conflicts, as Winfrey and Barr showed. The arm wrestling event teaches us that little misunderstandings may snowball into big problems if we don't talk about them, and that we should always try to understand one another's perspectives before acting. It doesn't matter what other people think of Oprah. She's accomplished a lot and is putting her money into worthwhile causes. She has used her considerable influence and fortune, estimated at around $2.80 billion, to support a wide range of charitable initiatives. In 2007, she established the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, which is one of her most renowned endeavors. In an effort to foster future female leaders, this organization offers disadvantaged girls access to a top-notch education. Winfrey's dedication to education and empowerment is shown by her personal and financial investments in the institution. Beyond this, she has always used her wealth for good, donating millions to philanthropies, humanitarian organizations, and scholarship programs throughout the world. Winfrey's commitment to helping underprivileged areas and her faith in the life-changing potential of education are both shown via her generous generosity. Let us know in the comments if there are any more criticisms of Oprah that we have missed. Otherwise, that's all for this episode.